Okay, so I've done all the hard work setting up my measurements with the reference planes and the level. And so now comes the easy part, drawing in the walls. So it's a good chance to just go over some things though. With the wall tool, firstly, I'm going to click on the top part of the button. If you go to the drop down there, you have to choose one of the options. We want walls architectural. And again, if you remember just to click on the top there, it'll give you that without having to choose any options. So by clicking on the bit above the line on that button, we get architectural walls. And again, if you see the message where it's reminding you to save, you should save it. And so I said when people lose work, it's usually because they're choosing not to save here, because it comes up every 15 minutes. So you should never lose more than 15 minutes work. But again, if you're not paying attention to that and you just cancel, you're going to lose work. So save project whenever you get that message. Then if you go down to one of the generic walls, I'll choose the generic 200mm wall. We're then going to make our new wall size from that by going to edit type. And then duplicate to make the new, or to give the new name for the new wall size. So there I'm going to make that generic 250mm wall. If you're wondering why it's that size, it's because this is an old building. That's how I know it was probably 1870s or something like that, because it's solid brickwork. It's not even cavity. And that's the way the English migrants did the sort of construction they were used to over in Britain, where they didn't have cavities in that era, because the weather conditions weren't as severe as what you have here. And cavities were actually an Australian innovation, and then it spread back to Europe. So a lot of these buildings that don't have cavities, solid brickwork is how they're built. They leak like crazy. The water just goes straight through those walls. But we know that's what it is. So it's 250, and that means you have 2 skins of brickwork. So here again, if we click edit, I'm just going to make the thickness there 250, which means it's 230 for the 2 skins of brickwork without a gap, or with a 10mm gap just for the mortar, and then 10mm of mortar either side, which adds up to 250. So that's why we have that thickness. If it was a proper cavity wall, which the slightly later buildings would have, then it would be 290, because they're going to be 270 for the cavity brick wall, and then 10mm either side to give us 290. So you should be thinking about that when you see these different wall thicknesses. So again, this is 250. So if again we click OK, I've set up my new wall. I've set the size, but I'm also then going to change the coarse scale fill colour. You can see there it's grey. So I'm going to click there and then change that to black. So we don't have it there. Yeah, this one will give us black. If you don't see the colour, you can always just drag this slider all the way to the bottom and that'll always make it black. Okay, so that's it. I've set up my new wall type. So I'm going to click OK. Then on the options bar, I'm going to change the height to parapet. So in other words, I'm going to leave that option there on height and then change the setting next to it to parapet. And then I'm going to change the location line to finish face exterior. And now comes the easy part. I can just then click onto the intersection between this reference plane and the boundary, and then go around clicking on each intersection point to get all of those exterior walls. So you can see how quick and easy it is if you've already set up those measurements. Now I just want to show you in the site plan, you can see the walls don't appear cut. And that's correct, because the site plan is viewing from much higher than the other floor plans. So we're viewing from right up in the sky, about 100 metres up in the sky. But if I go back now to the lower floor plan, then you can see, of course, we've got the walls showing with that black fill, which shows that they're being cut. And that should do it. So it doesn't hurt to have a look in a 3D view though. So if I go and open that up, you can see then the walls in 3D. We've got a good idea of the envelope of the building. So next we'll have a look at doing the floors, but I'll show you that afterwards. So the final thing though I better fix is that wall in the middle. So I'm just going to go to any floor plan, it doesn't really matter which, as long as you can see the walls. But maybe I'll go to lower floor, and then I'm just going to select this wall that I want to adjust, and using the grip there, I'm going to drag that up to the wall above to extend that wall, simply. It's that easy. So again, back to my 3D view, and we can see that there as well. So that's it. So I'll give some time to try that, and we should be able to get onto the floors, hopefully, get that done today as well.